would.
Well, tonight, making news right now, Clay Aiken tells all in his first TV interview since coming out. In a revealing interview with Diane Sawyer today on Good Morning America, Clay talks about why he decided to acknowledge that he's gay and whether he thinks his die-hard fans are going to stick with him. With me tonight in Miami, Judge David Young. He is the star of the syndicated court show called Judge David Young. Here in New York is Janelle Snowden. She's the host of VH1 News. In Hollywood tonight, there he is, Howard Bragman. He's the founder of 15 Minutes. Public relations. Gang, I appreciate every one of you being here tonight. Now, just one day after Clay came out in the brand new issue of People magazine, he's revealing brand new, intimate details about his life. Clay telling Diane Sawyer on Good Morning America that he came out because he didn't want to hide anything from his newborn son. And Clay also says that he hopes that all those rumors about him will finally stop. Listen to what he said.
I can't raise a kid and teach him to keep secrets, and at the same time I also don't ever want to raise him in an environment where it's not okay for him to be exactly who he is, no matter what.
You don't seem to be treating it as a declaration. It's just a...
Well, no, it's not, because I'm not making an announcement of any kind. I'm not coming and telling anybody anything. I'm speaking about it so people will stop asking questions about it, so they'll know, hush, you know, you've got your answer, you know what's going on.
All right, so Judge David Young, he's hoping this will help people move on with their lives and stop talking about it. You think mission accomplished here for Clay Aiken?
Well, I think that the People magazine article did that job. I think Diane Sawyer was kind of like whipped cream on top of the cupcake. You know, we've all known Clay Aiken was gay. He finally came out and admitted it, which is a good thing. And, you know, I admire him because for this, you know, for the timing that he did it. He has a newborn baby. You know, parents who are hypocrites, kids pick up on that, and I really admire the fact that he did it now, and I think it'll be healthy for him, and I think it'll be healthy for the baby as well.
Yeah, I think that was a real big point for him as to why he did it now. But he said, and in fact right there to Diane Sawyer, you know, this is not a big announcement. Janelle, let me go to you. Given, you know, how long Clay really did work to keep this private, which was certainly his right, but do you buy that he thinks this is no big deal, no big revelation?
Well, I mean, he's on the cover of People magazine with the letters in bold saying, "I'm gay." I guess maybe he figures they should have added "duh" underneath. I mean, the only way that he could say it's no revelation is because he assumed that everyone already knew it. But, I mean, as far as whether or not this will affect his career and whether or not people will stop asking questions, that remains to be seen. But if there are any of his female fans that didn't already know this, then they just must have been blinded by their love for him, because it's not like Clay ever pretended to be a macho guy.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because that was addressed in the People magazine interview to an extent, but more with Diane Sawyer. You know, we know Clay shot to fame as the runner-up on American Idol back in 2003, and we also know that some of his biggest fans, as you point out, Janelle, were older women, some of them, of course, calling themselves Claymates. So, in this first TV interview with Diane Sawyer, Diane asked what we all wanted to know. Watch.
Worried about your fans?
I don't have any designs on the fact that people will, that every single person is going to be perfectly okay with it. I'm sure that there are people who will grapple with it.
Yeah, so I'd have to think some of the people who might likely grapple with it could be members of his large base of conservative fans, mostly the women who professed his love for him. Howard Bragman, is Clay Aiken, do you think, underestimating how these fans might react?
You know, with all due respect to his fans, this is a decision that has nothing to do with his fans. It's intensely personal. It's about the way he wants to live his life. And as I've talked about before, I think he's going to get a bigger fan base because of it. I think people are going to love his authenticity. I don't think there's going to be any ebb in his popularity. And I think he's going to get a lot more attention because of it. So a personal decision is going to turn out to be a really good business decision for him, too.
So he should be rest assured that he's really got nothing to worry about as far as his career and just moving forward, Howard.
I'm sure he feels great this week, AJ. I'm sure this relief has been lifted off his shoulders, and he's in a place he's never been, and he's got to be feeling good about things right now.
Well, when he made this big revelation, I'm sorry, was that you?
AJ, the whole question is about integrity, and that's going to translate into a greater respect for Clay Aiken. Listen, I'm openly gay. It has not affected my fan base. Remember, we don't sleep with our fans. Our fans don't care what we do in our private life unless it's, you know, something outrageous. They just want us to give them a good product. They want to see Clay Aiken shine and spam a lot.
Yeah, well,
he ain't dead yet, as the song goes there, and he's going to have a good life. Absolutely.
Judge David Young, let's hope people are worthy of the credit that you give them. I want to move on to the issue of timing. We did ask in our Showbiz Tonight question of the day, online and on air, Clay Aiken reveals he's gay. Is the timing right? And look at the response. I'm actually a little surprised it wasn't heavier on those of you who said yes. 71% said yes, 29% said no. I want to stay with you, Judge David Young, for a moment here. I'm having a hard time even understanding why some people would think the timing wasn't right. Any insight there?
Who knows why some people figure that way? You can't read the public like that, what's right and what's wrong. It's an individual choice. And, when is a good time to come out? The best time to come out is when you feel secure in your being and you do it. That's when the best time, and this was the best time for Clay Aiken, and I support him on it, and I congratulate him on it.
Janelle Snowden, why do you think anyone would think, hey, you know what, maybe it wasn't such good timing?
I'm with the judge. I have no idea. The timing is when you're ready, absolutely. Like Howard said, this is such a personal decision, and I think that Clay is just going to feel an overwhelming sense of relief. There's got to be so much stress that one has to endure when you're hiding what you deem a secret, and so now he can walk hand in hand freely with whomever he chooses and not worry about people outing him. At least this way he has control over how the information has gotten leaked.
Well, Clay is getting tons of support from all over Hollywood. Some nice words from NSYNCer Lance Bass, who's openly gay. Rosie O'Donnell professed her love for Clay on her blog. And just last night in Hollywood, Showbiz Tonight's own Brooke Anderson caught up with hero star Kristen Bell. I love what Kristen told us. Watch this.
What surprises me and saddens me is that it still is big news because, there are certain steps you have to take to break through boundaries, and, he shouldn't really have to acknowledge it. It should just be okay that he is.
I'm going to go to you, Howard Bragman. I'd have to think you'd agree with that.
Well, I wish he didn't have to acknowledge it. I wish it wasn't a big deal. But as long as there's people who are trying to make my marriage invalid, stop people from adopting babies, stop gays and lesbians from having our basic civil rights, then it is a big deal. And the most important thing any gay or lesbian can do is come out of the closet and live an open, honest life. And that's what's going to change people's minds. So good on you, Clay Aiken.
Howard, I totally agree, and we have to lead by example. And if we can get another young child in North Carolina or somewhere that's not a big metropolitan city and see Clay Aiken as a role model, all the power to him, because that's what we need to do. We need to be positive role models.
Let's end it on that positive note. Judge David Young, Janelle Snowden, Howard Bragman, I thank you all.